Mhm.
Okay, so Priya, so we are coming to the last part of this lesson on human health and diseases. And one of the very important diseases that we are going to discuss in detail first, okay, before we move on to another aspect of human health, that is about adolescence. Okay, so let us first have
Yes.
understanding about the very dreaded disease which has gripped the world. Okay, apart from this corona that has come up, वो है AIDS.
Corona.
Correct.
Yes.
So when you say AIDS, first of all, you should understand कि AIDS जो है ना वो कोई disease नहीं है. Okay, see the full form. It is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So it is not a disease, it is a syndrome.
Syndrome.
And when you say syndrome, it means you can say it is a collection of many diseases. उसको syndrome बोलते हैं. ठीक है? So as far as AIDS are concerned, it is mostly a fatal illness. That means very rarely it is possible that a person can survive that. Okay, and it is a disease that is caused by RNA, a virus having single-stranded RNA as the genetic material.
Single-stranded RNA, yes.
Retrovirus बोलते हैं. Okay, and the name of the virus is HIV, which is human immunodeficiency virus.
Human immunodeficiency virus.
Correct. ठीक है? Now see, whenever short form normally हम HIV करके बोलते हैं ना ऐसा, तो you cannot say it as HIV virus. Because see, HIV में V is nothing but virus ना, तो HIV virus बोलना गलत हो जाएगा.
Okay.
So just say HIV या say AIDS virus.
Okay.
Okay. So overall, before you go into the details of this, one thing you should understand. जैसे अभी हमने starting से देखा immune system के बारे में. So our body has got immune system having specialized cells called lymphocytes, which are constantly working towards protecting the body against many pathogens to a large extent. Correct?
Right.
तो एड्स के वायरस का सबसे बड़ा तकलीफ यही है, इसका प्रॉपर इलाज अभी तक क्यों नहीं मिला है? Because this virus weakens the body's immune system itself. ये डायरेक्टली मेन इम्यून के सेंटर को ही अफेक्ट करता है. And that is the reason immunity अगर चला गया, yes, and that's why the body becomes an open invitation for every other disease.
Okay, got it.
So that is why the syndrome is dangerous. Okay, so because of the reduction in immunity, when the body becomes open to every other disease and all other pathogens also attack and other infections arise because of that, ऐसे infection को बोलते हैं opportunistic infections. Opportunistic. It's like they're taking advantage of the opportunity कि चलो यहाँ अपने को खतरा नहीं है, attack करो.
Yes.
ऐसे opportunistic infections बोलते हैं. ठीक है? So it is like it is a modern pandemic worldwide. Okay, COVID-19 के पहले यही था. ये भी है side by side. Getting it? So every country of the world is affected by it. And सबसे पहले AIDS इंसानों में डिटेक्ट किया गया था USA in 1981.
USA में हुआ?
Yes.
Okay.
First case of AIDS, okay, in 1981 in the US. And then India में it came in April 1986. First case was reported in Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu, of course. Got it.
Of course means what?
No.
Okay. And it is said कि ये जो virus है, this has got transmitted to human beings from rhesus monkey. Yes, उसको zoonosis करके बोलते हैं. जैसे ये जो COVID-19 का भी वायरस है देख, okay, ये वायरस पहले से ही था, but इंसानों में आया from animals like bats and pangolins. So when there is a cross transmission of this kind of pathogens या viruses from animals to human beings, उसको zoonosis करके बोलते हैं.
क्या losses?
Zoonosis, ZOONOSIS.
Oh, Z. Okay,
yes,
got it.
so this AIDS is also an example of zoonosis. The virus was always there. It was there in animals like rhesus monkey, but then it got transmitted to humans for the first time. And जैसे ही किसी human में आ गया तो then it got spread to many other human beings.
Okay, got it.
In 1981 में US में first, 86 में India में first, and now it is a worldwide pandemic. You can imagine how fast it has transmitted within human beings.
Yes.
Okay? So that is the brief history about HIV. So as we know that HIV is the one responsible for causing AIDS, तो पहले इस virus का structure देख लेते हैं.
Oh,
This is the diagram you have to learn. Now, in
oh
general,
no.
you have already learned about viruses, so you know very well that it is nothing but उसको हम लोग acellular structures करके बोलते हैं. Like it is neither
हाँ,
living nor
correct.
living.
Cellular
It is at the
structures.
threshold of living and non-living, right?
Hmm.
So in that situation, ये जो virus होते हैं उसका genetic material रहेगा, okay, and there will be a protein coat surrounding it. So in the
Okay.
case of viruses like this, जो animal viruses है, उसका genetic material
Animal
होता है
virus.
RNA. एड्स एनिमल्स में होता है ना, प्लांट्स में क्या है?
Oh, हाँ, correct.
Three
Yes.
types of viruses are there: animal virus, plant virus, and bacterial viruses. So
Correct.
animal viruses में it is always RNA as the genetic material. Okay, so this RNA is a single stranded one surrounded by protein coat. Okay, and there is a lipid coat, and there are matrix proteins also present, and you can see these spikes.
Oh yes, of course.
कोका कोला बॉटल जैसे दिख रहा है, देखना है ना? तो उसमें जो स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं, they are called protein. GP41, GP120 ऐसे करके.
Yes.
Okay, so outer layer is matrix protein called P17. Inner layer
P17.
is capsid protein called P24.
Got it.
ये spherical सा virus है. The average diameter is around 100 to 140 nanometer. इस virus का.
Nanometer. Okay.
Okay? And
Got it.
it is a single stranded RNA molecule, which are two of them. Okay, in the diagram you can see ये जो S जैसे लिखा है ना, दो, तो वो single stranded RNA. Two.
Okay.
And उसके साथ
Oh,
you can
हाँ,
see
yes, correct. Yes.
there are reverse transcriptase enzyme molecules present.
What is that?
You know transcription, याद है?
Transcription, translation, translocation.
What is transcription? Transcription क्या है बता?
Yeah, that.
बोल बोल.
1 second. No, that is translation.
Transcription क्या है बता जल्दी.
हाय वही ना, मतलब the
Protein synthesis के दो main steps है. Central dogma. Do you
Yes,
remember? So now
Yes,
tell me
I
what
remember.
is transcription?
That segment copy करता है ना DNA से
So
RNA.
formation of mRNA from the DNA.
Correct. Yes.
तो बोलते हैं
Yes, that's what
transcription.
Yes.
Okay, तो ट्रांसक्रिप्शन में अगर डीएनए से mRNA बनेगा, तो here it is reverse transcription. That means formation of DNA from mRNA.
One second. Just a second. I'm getting a call. Just a second. 1 second. My class teacher.
Okay, so over the matrix protein layers, now there are lipids also present, and there are glycoproteins which are present called GP120 and GP41. ये उसके नाम है. ठीक है, the word GP indicates glycoproteins.
Glycoproteins.
यार ऐसे स्पाइक से देखना glycoproteins. ठीक है, that's how the structure is. अब ये जो वायरस है, it is very host specific, right? And
What specific?
host जिस सेल के अंदर जाएगा, कि ये वायरस जो होते हैं एक्टिवली डिवाइडिंग T4 lymphocytes जो रहते हैं, उनके अंदर जाकर this virus can replicate.
Yes.
Replicate मतलब this virus will produce a lot of many other copies of itself.
Correct.
अंदर बनाएगा
Yes.
T4 lymphocytes के अंदर, especially the ones which are actively dividing. And then in the body there are lymphoid cells present.
What is lymphoid?
Lymph circulatory system याद आ रहे हैं?
अच्छा हाँ, that.
Lymphatic
Yes.
system. Okay. So lymphoid cells के अंदर जाकर this virus will remain latent. That is the worst part of this virus. तो अंदर रहेगा, शांत बैठा रहेगा. Getting it? Human T4 lymphocytes को destroy कर सकते.
Okay.
Okay. Is the one that is how it ultimately spreads. And then HIV is also found to be in a very large concentration in many body fluids.
Body fluids?
Yes, जैसे blood या semen या cerebrospinal fluid. Okay. इन सब जगहों पर ज्यादा concentration में पाया गया. If a person is like goes for a checkup एंड ये टेस्ट करवाते हैं, अगर HIV है उसके अंदर तो ये तीनों फ्लूइड्स में ज्यादा होने का चांसेस है. ठीक है, द ब्लड, द सीमन एंड CSF. And it is also found to some extent in other body fluids like tears, okay, the milk, the mammary glands, right, urine, saliva,
yes,
okay, cervical and vaginal secretions also. तो ये fluids में बना हुआ रहता है, present रहता है, and that is the reason it spreads from one person to another very easily. Getting it? So you have to remember these points. So how this virus is transmitted? Okay, the major mode of transmission is by unsafe sexual contact. That is why this is one of the largest examples of STDs. Okay, sexually transmitted diseases. That is why any kind of sexual contact which is unhygienic, immoral, not acceptable scientifically can lead to this AIDS. It's
Got
very dangerous. And see, whenever you say sexual contact, it is not necessarily intercourse. Okay, it can be any type of physical sexual contact. Okay, तो जैसे यहाँ पे दिया है oral sex when the mouth is involved. Okay, vaginal sex, which is normal sexual intercourse, and some people also practice anal sex. Okay, sexual intercourse carried out through the anus.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so when this kind of activities are done, there is a high chance that from one person which is infected, the virus will get transmitted to another healthy person.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is one major mode of transmission, and that is the reason it is said कि prevent करने के लिए proper sexual activity and multiple sexual partners should be avoided.
Okay.
And sexual contact with unknown person should be avoided. That is one of the main reasons. But always remember, this is not the only mode of transmission.
What else?
सबसे बड़ा misconception था कि those people who got HIV, they got AIDS, so there used to be social stigma कि directly उस person के character पे लोग comment करते थे and उसको isolate करते थे.
Okay.
Because it is not always this reason. It is one of the reasons. There are many other reasons, and unknowingly also a person can get AIDS. Okay, जैसे blood transfusion होते हैं, doctors ने अगर proper blood का checking नहीं किया and blood transfuse कर दिया which was HIV infected, so it is no fault of the person. Okay, blood से transmit हो जाता है. Needle sharing, that is the reason it is always said कि any kind of needle, जैसे doctors injection भी जब use करते हैं, so same
needle is called.
Needle जैसे इंजेक्ट करते हैं बॉडी में तो बॉडी फ्लूइड्स के कांटेक्ट में आते हैं ना.
अच्छा, ओके.
तो वही नीडल अगर एज इट इज डायरेक्ट दूसरे पेशेंट के लिए यूज करेंगे तो इट इज नॉट एडवाइजेबल. डॉक्टर जब इंजेक्शन देते हैं सो दे डोंट यूज द सेम नीडल विद अनदर पेशेंट ना.
हाँ, करेक्ट.
वो एक बार इंजेक्शन दे दिया तो उसको डिस्पोज ही करना है सिर्फ.
करेक्ट.
नीडल शेयरिंग, तो दिस इज मोर रैम्पेंट इन पीपल हु डू दिस, हु हैव दिस हैबिट ऑफ इंजेक्टिंग ड्रग्स, जो अभी हम एडिक्शन में देखेंगे. ठीक है, तो वो एक सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. तो नीडल शेयरिंग कैन लीड टू एड्स, so that has to be avoided. It is why when a person is having this awareness, so the person will know okay what is to be prevented in order to avoid this disease, right?
Okay.
And sometimes the transmission can be transplacental. Okay, that means from a pregnant mother to the fetus. Across the placenta. It's like a woman gets pregnant. Okay, after pregnancy the woman comes to know that she is HIV positive, but the fetus is already there inside. So internally from the mother's blood the HIV can get transmitted through the fetus.
Yes, correct, got it.
Okay, or in fact also in a nursing mother. Okay, the woman has given birth to the child, but the woman is undergoing lactation period. The mother is feeding the milk to the young one, to the baby. So through the milk the baby can get HIV.
Oh no. Okay,
तो breast milk से HIV transmit हो सकता है. Okay, so these are the major methods of transmission. Okay, so there are other methods also which are like minor ones if you say, जैसे accidentally अगर needle injury हो गया. Okay, or you know there are modern techniques like artificial insemination.
Artificial insemination.
Like this one, test tube baby के लिए सब हमने देखा था.
Still
right?
baby. Yeah.
Yes, so infected donated semen can give rise to this AIDS. Okay, or
Correct.
if a
Yes.
organ transplantation is carried out which is not properly checked, तो infected organs के वजह से हो सकते हैं.
Yes, ठीक है,
Okay,
समझ
it
गया.
is found to be present in urine, tears, saliva, the breast milk, and vaginal secretions. Okay, so
Okay.
unless and
Got it.
until there is any kind of injury as such, तो इसमें से transmit नहीं होता है mostly.
Okay.
Okay,
ठीक
you
है.
are aware about sex workers या prostitutes,
Oh yeah, of course.
right? So there are sometimes major modes of transmission because they are like, it's like sex with an unknown partner or multiple sex partners बोलते हैं ना.
Yes,
So
same thing.
that is why, yes, so many times like those people who have the habit of visiting them and taking their services, they get this disease. Okay,
हाँ.
and sometimes even those women also suffer from this disease.
Correct.
So that
Yes.
is also there. But और एक important जैसे misconception मैंने बताया कि HIV का infection जो है, it is not spread by these methods. If you hug a person, okay, or through mosquito या insect bites, okay, if a person takes part in sports and all, और there was जिसको stigma बन गया था ना कि इसको इससे दूर ही रहना है, इसको छूना भी नहीं है.
Yes.
तो if
वो
a
मेरा
person
idea
is using items, हाँ तो गलत है. Now you know that, right?
Yes, I know that.
If a person touches some items of daily use, okay, तो उसका प्लेट बर्तन वगैरह हम लोग हाथ नहीं लगाने का, ऐसा नहीं. It is wrong.
Okay, got
Okay,
it.
so handshake or sharing of clothes, even swimming pools and all, it's not a huge issue. HIV does not spread by that. ठीक है?
ठीक है, समझ गया.
पहले ये सब misconception था. Then the awareness started spreading.
Misconception.
Yes, because every time the person is not at fault, no?
Of course.
Okay, and that is the reason awareness is necessary, right? So what are the symptoms of this disorder या syndrome? Okay, तो ये क्या होता है कि initial infection, वायरस अंदर आया तो अपने बॉडी कोशिश करने लगता है एंटीबॉडीज बनाकर. Okay, so usually 2 to 8 weeks after initial infection, ठीक है, तो formation of antibodies begin. The body tries its best कि इसको दूर रखना है करके. Then the person is in a asymptomatic carrier state. That means the person is having the virus, but the person is asymptomatic, not having the disease symptoms at all.
No, sir, yes.
The person will be absolutely normal. Imagine the incubation period can be 6 months to 10 years.
Yes, right.
मतलब सालों तक कुछ नहीं होगा, सब नॉर्मल रहेगा, बट अंदर गड़बड़ चल रहा है.
Yes.
And by the time it is revealed, it is detected, major damage is done. Okay. Then you have something called AIDS related complex. कि one of the following associated symptoms. तो उसमें आएगा जैसे recurrent fever, okay, which persists for more than 1 month. Okay, fatigue.
Oh, you told me.
Yes, abnormal diarrhea. Okay, then night sweating. Night sweating. ठीक है, shortness of breath, loss of 10% of the body weight suddenly. कि जो abnormal है, ये सब अगर होता है तो it's always better to get a checkup done at the earliest. Correct? तो HIV infection का आखिरी स्टेज होता है AIDS. Initially it is like infection, then it turns into a syndrome. Yeah. So there are opportunistic infections, as I said. Pneumonia हो जाएगा, TB होगा. AIDS का एक symptom है एक cancer called Kaposi sarcoma. It is one of the symptoms of AIDS. Okay.
Yes.
So you can imagine AIDS जैसा deadly syndrome, उसका symptom एक और deadly syndrome है. Okay, so it can be very dangerous, right?
Yes.
And that's the reason it is sure for now, कितना भी medical science advance हो जाए, but अब तक AIDS का कोई cure नहीं मिला है.
नहीं है.
Because वो इतना damaging है, इतना शांत बैठता है, and then अचानक से damage सामने आता है.
Exactly.
Right? So pinpoint नहीं कर पाता है कि किस position पे उसको रोका जाए. Of course, the research is going on. There are many people who are trying to find a proper cure for it.
Correct.
But that is the reason awareness इसके पीछे ज़्यादा चलाते हैं कि इसको prevent करो. Okay, so those who are scientifically inclined, you are learning this in the curriculum, so a person is aware about it. But imagine there are so many people जिनको education नहीं मिल रहा है, awareness नहीं मिल रहा है. right?
Hmm.
So out of ignorance, the person is suffering from this.
Correct. Yes.
So especially इसके बारे में education देना जरूरी है. So there are many
जरूरी है.
NSS
Yes.
and all, okay, जो awareness फैलाते हैं schools में जाकर, slums में जाकर, okay, उनको education देते हैं, especially जो high risk group है.
Yes, correct.
Okay, those who are like having the habit of engaging into sexual activities which are not advisable. Okay.
Which are not advisable. Yes.
तो ऐसे लोगों को
Yes.
जाकर अवेयरनेस देते हैं कि उसके वजह से क्या हो सकता है करके, right?
Correct.
Then
Nice.
disposable needles and syringes, they should be.
Yeah, you told me needles के बारे में. हाँ.
उसका incineration किया जाता है, उसको biomedical waste में include करते हैं. Okay, इस तरह से used needles and all, and then they are incinerated, controlled burning करके निकाल दिया जाता है. ठीक है?
Okay,
All
got it.
different types of unadvisable sexual habits that should be changed. Okay, because safe sex is very very important, right? Then, so sexual habits का important है. Then there's those people who are at a high risk. Okay, they should avoid donating blood. ये नहीं करना है कि मतलब एक तरफ गलत काम करे, दूसरी तरफ वो अच्छाई करने के लिए जाके ब्लड डोनेट कर रहा है. So you are in fact causing more trouble, right? And of course it is a duty of the people who are collecting blood for donation also कि वो blood को check करें. And then before, only when the complete checking is done, it should be given to any other person.
Okay, got it.
Right? So sharing of toothbrush तो वैसे ही कोई share नहीं करता है, but still like razors, okay, any other article that can be contaminated with blood, it should not be shared. ये सब अपना personal use है. You cannot share it with anyone else. Even जैसे gents में जो हम लोग shaving करते हैं, शेविंग रेजर्स भी जो होते हैं वो अपना अपना इंडिविजुअल रखते हैं. That cannot be shared one person with another. Okay. Then रिसीविंग ब्लड के पहले भी जरूरी हो जाता है कि डॉक्टर्स किसी को ट्रांसमिट करे ब्लड, तो HIV वगैरह नहीं होना चाहिए, चेक करना जरूरी है. करेक्ट? अगर तो पेशेंट इज कंप्लीटली डिपेंडेंट ऑन डॉक्टर इटसेल्फ, है ना? तो रूटीन स्क्रीनिंग करना चाहिए. ब्लड डोनर्स, ऑर्गन डोनर्स, ओके, सीमेन डोनर्स या हार्मोन डोनर्स होते हैं. Or there are patients who undergo hemodialysis, kidney functioning के लिए.
Yes, you are right. Yes.
Right? Or females who are who are pregnant or who are maybe wanting to get pregnant. Okay. Okay. तो ऐसे लोगों के लिए proper screening करना जरूरी है. That is important.
Okay.
Okay. So because of that, now as you have understood the impact of this deadly syndrome, how important it is to understand and prevent it. So that's why every year 1st December को World AIDS Day करके observe करते हैं. This red colored ribbon symbolize, ये इसका symbol है. So there are many NGOs and people who what you can say कि मतलब जैसे मोर्चा टाइप लेके निकलते हैं. Okay. अपने शर्ट पे इस तरह का रिबन बांधते हैं. They spread the message. ओ
मैंने वो देखा है. अच्छा वो इसके लिए है.
इसके लिए, correct. तो गवर्नमेंट ने स्टार्ट किया बिकॉज व्हेन द गवर्नमेंट आल्सो अंडरस्टूड कि कितना डिसीज प्रॉब्लमेटिक है, तो अवेयरनेस पहुंचाना जरूरी है. राइट? सो नेशनल एड्स कंट्रोल प्रोग्राम करके लॉन्च किया 1987. ओके. तो इट इज द रेड रिबन व्हिच इज द सिंबॉलिक ऑफ दिस एड्स. रेड रिबन सिंबलाइजिंग अवेयरनेस एंड सपोर्ट फॉर पीपल हु लिव विद HIV. So it's not only about just preventing the disorder. Okay. Secondly, it is also important to make the people aware that those who are suffering from HIV, one should not isolate them. They are also a part of the society. Okay. उनको ऐसा अलग नजर से नहीं देखना. Right? So there are 4 AIDS reference centers which have been established. एक है अपना AIIMS, which is at New Delhi, All India Institute of Medical Sciences.
Okay.
Okay, very popular. Then you have the National Institute of Virology at Pune, NIV. This is also equally significant. Okay.
Pune.
Then, yes. Then Vellore in Tamil Nadu, Center of Advanced Research on Virology.
Virology. Virology is
study of viruses. Study and research about viruses. Okay. जब से COVID-19 start हुआ है, virologist का तो एकदम मस्त रिसर्च चल रहा है. Right? अभी आ रहा है ना कि new variant has been detected, ऐसा बोलते रहते देखो.
Yes, correct.
They are detected by these virologists. They are keeping a track on the virus. Okay. and then you have
Yes,
one
got it.
National Institute of Communicable Diseases at New Delhi. तो
New
ये
Delhi.
4 रेफरेंस सेंटर्स है, 2 from Delhi, 1 from Pune, 1 from Vellore. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Then
Got it.
1992 में Ministry of Health and Family Welfare करके, this is under the central
Ministry
government.
of Health and Family
Central
Welfare.
government के अंदर बहुत सारे ministries होते हैं. Okay, so that each and every aspect of the life of people can be properly regulated. One of them is this Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. तो उसके जो leaders होते हैं, they are scientifically aware कि health के point of view क्या क्या करना चाहिए करके. So there are different departments and all under this. तो अलग अलग organizations या programs तैयार करते हैं वो. तो 1992 में उन्होंने किया था National AIDS Control Organization, NACO. Okay, so this organization का aim is to prevent further transmission of HIV.
Yes, correct.
Side by side, there are people who are trying to find the best cure for this. Alongside that, it is our duty to ensure that we prevent it.
ठीक है, got
Right?
it.
तो ट्रांसमिशन प्रिवेंट करना है, टू डिक्रीज द मॉर्बिडिटी. मॉर्बिडिटी का मतलब है अदर एसोसिएटेड इलनेसेस अराइजिंग बिकॉज ऑफ HIV.
Okay.
एंड टू डिक्रीज द मॉर्टेलिटी, दैट मींस डेथ.
Mortality.
एंड उसके वजह से जो सोशियो इकोनॉमिक इम्पैक्ट होता है वो भी रिड्यूस करना है. ये सब इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का काम है, NACO. Okay,
got it.
so how is AIDS detected in the laboratory? Yes, so एक ही टेस्ट करके कंफर्म नहीं कर सकते एड्स का. Okay, so first a test is carried out to detect the HIV antibodies. कि मतलब वो टेस्ट करेंगे तो उससे पता चलेगा कि एंटीबॉडीज बना है HIV के प्रेजेंस में. ठीक है, बट इट इज नॉट ऑलवेज. हाँ, HIV इन्फेक्ट करेगा तब एंटीबॉडीज बनेगा ना.
हाँ, करेक्ट. यस.
तो
यस यस.
बट इट कैन ऑलवेज, इट इज ऑलवेज अ पॉसिबिलिटी कि वो गलत रिजल्ट भी दे देगा. द रीजन इज बिकॉज एंटीबॉडीज आर प्रोड्यूस्ड इन रेस्पॉन्स टू एनी पैथोजन. तो वो कंफर्म करने के लिए उसको फॉल्स पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट करके बोलते हैं. ओके, कि एंटीबॉडीज तो डिटेक्ट हो रहा है बट HIV की वजह से है या किसी और रीजन से वो नहीं कंफर्म कर सकते. So that is why there is a second confirmatory test, okay, to rule out any false positive results like this. So पहला एक ऐसा टेस्ट होता है which is called ELISA test. ELISA test. Yes, ये नाम याद रखना है एड्स के लिए. Enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. That is ELISA. Okay. ये करने के बाद there is a confirmatory test which is like a Western blot. We are not going into details of this right now. बट सिर्फ इतना समझ ले एड्स के RNA को डिटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, which is a highly specific test. Okay, so it will detect a specific antibody to viral core protein and the enveloped glycoprotein जो सिर्फ HIV में है.
ठीक है, got it.
Specifically, तो अगर ये पॉजिटिव आया तो that means it is for sure that the person is HIV positive.
Okay, ठीक है.
So as such, talking about the treatment, so as we know कि इसका कोई treatment नहीं है, but there are drugs available in order to prolong the life of the patient. Okay, तो उसको बोलते हैं antiretroviral drugs.
Okay,
ये जो वायरस है इसमें RNA है जिसको रेट्रोवायरस बोलते हैं. So it is antiretroviral against this virus. तो वायरल लोड को रिड्यूस करेगा एंड HIV पेशेंट के लाइफ को जितना हो सके प्रोलॉन्ग करेगा. ऐसे थेरेपी को बोलते हैं एंटी रेट्रोवायरल थेरेपी, ART. ओके, सो वन ऑफ देम इज अ ड्रग कॉल्ड TDF, tenofovir, EPV, efavirenz. Okay, then you have 3TC, lamivudine. Just remember the names.
अरे यार, fine, got it.
समझ गया. ठीक है.
Yes,
so
yes,
vaccines, immunization programs and all बहुत कोशिश किए हैं. In general, like AIDS part is over. AIDS के लिए तो इतना ही था. So understanding all this, we have learned about so many diseases now, right? जैसे अभी for example polio virus, poliomyelitis करके जो disease है, now it has almost been eradicated from the country because we know कि polio का vaccine अगर बचपन में ले लेते हैं तो the person is safe from polio for the entire life. Okay, so similarly you have goiter control program, Okay, then BCG vaccines are available for tuberculosis, diphtheria, pneumonia, ऐसे स्मॉल पॉक्स वैक्सीन आते हैं। तो ऐसे बहुत सारे वैक्सीन वगैरह गवर्नमेंट ने डेवलप किए हैं, ट्रीटमेंट का भी पूरा मेथड सब डेवलप किया है। मेडिकल साइंसेस एडवांस्ड अ लॉट, राइट? वी आर ट्राइंग आवर बेस्ट कि मतलब डिसीजेस जो है वो बंद ही हो जाए। पॉपुलेशन का हेल्थ का केयर करना गवर्नमेंट का जिम्मेदारी है, एंड it is the responsibility of the public also to take care of their own health. सिंपल सा चीज है, हम अगर अपना हेल्थ का हम नहीं ख्याल रखेंगे तो we might suffer, but in that process unknowingly we will also make the others around us suffer. जैसे अभी कोविड-19 के टाइम पे देख रहे हैं गवर्नमेंट कितना अवेयरनेस दे रहे हैं कि कुछ नहीं करना है, मास्क पहनना है in a crowded area at least. But see what majority of the people are doing. Even in a crowded area, अभी भी वो मास्क ठीक से नहीं पहन रहे. So they are they are not taking care of themselves as well as the people around them. Correct? So control करना मुश्किल है. So it's not possible for the government to keep a track on each and every person. So it is our own responsibility also to make sure that the health does not get affected a lot. Right?
Got it.
So like this, the research in medical science will keep going on, and we might reach one stage where it is possible, it could be possible that the treatment for every disease becomes available. Right?
Okay, ठीक है.
Let's see. ठीक है? तो कैसा लगा एड्स का? Understood everything properly?
समझ गया.
अच्छे से? No doubts?
Yes.
ठीक है? Okay.
Yes.